All right, welcome back to ABA exam review and the continuation of our practice questions series, where we're going through another set of RBT questions together and breaking them down. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're turning, welcome back. Please like and subscribe. Check out btexamreview.com for all of our study materials, including our combo pack. When you pass your exam, please let us know so we can include you in the Sunday shout out. Work hard, study hard. Let's get going. Jennifer, a behavior technician, is working with a client on a skill acquisition program. Jennifer observes that the client is not making progress, even though Jennifer is following the plan exactly as written. Jennifer should do which of the following? So put yourself in Jennifer's shoes. You're working with a client and you're targeting a specific skill. So with skill acquisition, we're trying to teach or improve or strengthen a skill. Jennifer observes that the client is not making progress, even though Jennifer is following the plan exactly as written. And no matter how well you follow the plan or how well the plan is written, sometimes things just don't work. And that's part of our job, especially myself as a BCBA and your BCBA supervisors, is evaluating, okay, what can we do to make our plans better? Now, as the behavior technician in a situation like this, what is going to be your job? What is your role? What is your primary responsibility if this is the case? A, attempt a different prompting strategy during the plan. Well, you still, if you're the behavior technician, as Jennifer is, you still need to implement the plan as written. You don't try to change that plan or add or remove things that you believe aren't working without guidance from the team. B, continue following the plan as trained and instructed. We also can't just do that, right? You see the client is not making progress, you have to let somebody know. Just because you're the technician doesn't mean you're not a vital part of the team and that your opinion doesn't matter. If you are doing the plan and you think it's not working, you've got to tell somebody. C, explain to the parents that sometimes progress is slow. Well, the parents aren't who you should be talking to. That's going to be the supervisor's job. It's going to be the supervisor who you want to talk to. You want to report the lack of progress to the supervisor on the case. And if it seems like a lot of our supervision questions and questions where something is wrong on your case are just answered by going to the supervisor, is because that's what the task list wants us to do as technicians. You need to be open and honest with your communication with the supervisor, in addition to being prompt in that communication. So if the plan doesn't appear to be working, the supervisor needs to know. Client's problem behavior is maintained by escape from demands. The supervisor has instructed James to implement an intervention that involves a 3-minute break from demands immediately following each instance of the problem behavior. This procedure is an example of what? So don't overthink this one. It's worded a little different. We're looking at the procedure here, and we have a problem behavior that is maintained by escape from demands. And when we talk about a behavior being maintained by something, what are we saying? Well, we're saying one, it's likely the function, and two, that's going to be the reinforcement. If the problem behavior leads to escape, what does the behavior lead to? It leads to negative reinforcement, right? Escape is negative reinforcement. So if the supervisor tells James to provide a 3-minute break from demands following the problem behavior, so now we're getting this 3-minute break as the consequence, right? This 3-minute break is the consequence. What is that 3-minute break acting as? Well, it's acting as that negative reinforcement, right? It's maintaining escape or maintaining the problem behavior because it's allowing escape from demands. Now, when will we do this? When will we intentionally reinforce a behavior? Well, often when we're trying to figure out the function, such as in a functional analysis, we might intentionally reinforce the behavior just to see how it is affected. And so if we've got a situation where escape is being offered or given as a result of behavior, it's going to be negative reinforcement. It's not positive reinforcement because escape is going to lead to removal, right, or avoidance. It's not punishment because the behavior is being maintained. And when a behavior is maintained or increased, it's going to be reinforcement. So this procedure is an example of C, negative reinforcement. A client is learning to imitate simple hand gestures. The technician presents the instruction, do this, and then immediately models a hand gesture. If the client does not respond, the technician physically prompts the client to make the hand gesture. This prompting strategy is an example of what? So we have a prompting strategy question, and we're trying to examine the prompts and the information that is given to us. The client is learning to imitate. The technician presents the instruction, do this, and then models the hand gesture. If the client does not respond, the technician physically prompts the client to make the hand gesture. Now, when evaluating different prompts, you want to ask yourself, which one is more intrusive? Is a model more intrusive or is a physical prompt? Well, the physical prompt is going to be much more intrusive because the physical prompt, we are physically making a person do what we ask. A model is still very intrusive because we're giving them the answer essentially, but we're not physically touching them. When you're physically touching someone and making them do what you ask, much more intrusive than the model. And so, are we moving from a least to most prompt or a most to least prompt? Well, if we're moving from a model, which is less intrusive, to a more intrusive physical prompt, we are moving from a least to most prompt. Now, an easier way to think about least to most would be going from a gestural prompt to a physical prompt, because that's very obvious. Still, in our hierarchy, typically physical prompts are going to be at the top, and then we're going to move down. You probably have a model here, and then the other prompts down here, maybe gestural, maybe positional, that kind of thing, right? But the top of our hierarchy is typically going to involve physical prompts and models. And physical prompts are going to be more intrusive given the physical nature of those prompts. So this prompting strategy is an example of least to most prompting. I should say least to most. A preschool teacher is implementing a token economy with a student to increase their completion of chores in the classroom. The student can earn tokens for completing chores and can exchange the tokens for a new toy at the end of the week. The toy is a what? All right, so we have a situation where we are looking at the toy, okay? And the toy is a part of this token economy. Now, how does a token economy work? Well, we're going to set a number. Let's say, in this case, when they get to the end of the week, they can exchange the toy or the tokens for the toy. And so let's say it's 6 tokens. So we need 6 tokens, and then we can get equals 1 toy. So those tokens are going to be these generalized conditioned reinforcers. What do we call the item that the token is exchanged for, or items? Because in order to establish these tokens as reinforcers, they have to be paired with other things. And the toy itself is what? Well, it's a conditioned reinforcer, because in the past, that toy has been paired as well. So when we have a situation in a token economy where we are exchanging our tokens for something else, that something else that's being exchanged for is going to be our backup reinforcer. Now, unconditioned reinforcer and primary reinforcer, kind of a trick question because these are the same thing. It can't be both, right? And a toy is not unconditioned and it's not primary. Primary just means unconditioned or something like water or food or comfort. A toy is going to be conditioned or secondary. So again, when we talk about a backup reinforcer, whatever we're exchanging our tokens for is the backup reinforcer. And a token economy can have several backup reinforcers available at different values. Lucy is collecting ABC data on a client's tantrum behavior. Lucy documents the following. Client's tablet was taken away. Client begins to scream and cry. Client was given the tablet back. Based on this single instance of data, what is the most likely hypothesized function of the tantrum behavior? So notice how this question clearly states we're looking at one data point. Okay, so we're drawing our hypothesis from very incomplete data, but it's what they want you to do. So when we hypothesize a function, we start to form our opinion on why we think the behavior is happening, in this case, the tantrum behavior. So let's look at our ABC data. ABC is antecedent behavior consequence. Antecedent is what? It's what happens before the behavior. The antecedent here was tablet removed. Behavior is what? Client began to scream and cry. So tablet was removed. Client screamed and cried. What was the consequence? Client was given tablet back. Now again, we've got one instance of data, incomplete, but if the situation is tablet removed, behavior happens, tablet given back. Why do we think this tangible behavior is happening? A, access to tangibles. That seems the most clear given our information. It doesn't appear to be automatic reinforcement because it's socially mediated, right? Somebody had to give the tablet back. Automatic reinforcement means they're on their own or providing their own reinforcement. It doesn't appear to be escape because they didn't escape anything. They just seem to want the tablet back or were mad when the tablet was taken away. And it doesn't appear to be attention because it doesn't say client began to scream and cry. Client was given hugs or given reprimands. Client was given the tablet, which is going to be that tangible. So the hypothesized function here, based on one instance of data, is A, access to tangibles. Thanks for watching. Check out btexamreview.com for all of our study materials. When you pass, let us know so we can include you in the Sunday shout-out. Work hard, study hard. See you soon.